Very good evening. Very good evening to one and all.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Those who are comfortable, they can switch on their cameras. Those who are not comfortable, they can keep their cameras off. But if you are comfortable, you must switch on your camera so that the session must be interactive. And in this session, not in this session, in this FDP, we will be interactive. Okay, there will be no one-way communication. So there will be interaction as and when required. We will discuss. So may I know the objective behind joining this FDP? You have some specific purpose, or you have joined this FDP to earn a certificate or whatever is the objective. If I know your objective of joining this FDP, I may be in the better position to try to fulfill your objective. So if you can speak on your objective, why have you joined this FDP, what are the expectations, what you want, so that we can go in that way. Do we have anybody to speak?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. This is Ravi Bandarupalli from Sri University.
Good evening, sir.
Research scholar. Sir, actually, I joined in this program to what are the how to frame the objectives for a reach out project, and how to frame a design, and how to prepare the questionnaire in an effective way to get the suitable answer from the respondents. So I have a little bit idea, but I want to be excel in this area. And one more thing also, I want to be familiar with the how to write a report or how to write a research paper. So these are my objectives, sir, to join in this project. Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome. Anybody else? If you will speak, then I will be in a better position. I will cover the schedule whichever we have shared. But I think
my name is Anita.
Yeah.
And I am a scholar from Mahatma Gandhi University, Kerala. And I'm doing my research in tourism. And I'm halfway through the research. I've zeroed down on my conceptual framework, and I'm designing my tools. And during the course of my doctoral committee, I was given a suggestion that my research, it was actually positivist, quantitative in nature initially, but then there are some aspects of which needs a qualitative analysis, a qualitative probe as well. So I'm here to know a little more about these things, about data analyzing, about creating an effective tool, validation, etc., which some of the code this course covers mostly. What I need is mostly covered by this course, and that's why I'm interested to learn more and maybe get some help in future as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Good evening, sir. This is Rakesh. So first of all, thank you so much for organizing this program, sir.
Most welcome. Most welcome.
Yeah, I'm from Sri University. I'm doing my PhD in psychology. And as you know, sir, this is the wonderful field to explore more, and with research, a lot of things which we have to understand and identify beyond the research things. So what I would love to understand from this program is to do more with the research analysis, particularly the quantitative analysis and the qualitative one. And actually, I'm looking for more knowledge in writing papers, research papers. And that should reach the right publishers, and it should get validated.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else? No? I was expecting some more to share. Okay, are you there? Everybody is there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, anybody else who want to share his or her objective to join the FDP?
So, good evening, sir. My name is Neha Bhagat.
Good evening, madam.
Sir, I have joined this FDP because there have been a lot of aspects in the past where I could not understand. I had to take help from others, from other statisticians. So I want to polish my skills at the same time. It will be very helpful for my PhD as well. So these are my objectives.
Thank you, madam. Okay, we have a few more minutes to discuss this. After this, we will start the things. Anybody else who want to discuss? Or, yes, sir.
Evening,
Yes,
sir. Good evening,
yes,
sir.
sir. Good evening, Sapna madam.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
This is Sapna Pandey, basically. I don't know whether my name is Sapna Mishra, maybe.
Hmm.
Okay, sir. Actually, I have attended last some FDPs of yours, and I'm a great fan of yours. The way you explain it with so much of simplicity, I really like it. And it is just that for a long time I was not in touch with my research work. So it is a small brush up and one that you can definitely give us. And also the e-views is one of the interest areas.
Okay. Thank you, Sapna madam. Thank you for your kind words. I will try to keep it up. Okay. Anybody else?
Hello,
Yeah.
sir. This is Dr. Karuna. I am actually representing Indra group of institutions. I am from PGM and already finished my PhD in 2018. But now I am looking forward to just have a brush up. And since many students of PhD and regular PGDM and MBA students come for the guidance, so to get some deep knowledge more as a guide, I want to develop my skill sets.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for joining. I will try. We have Priyansi and Sindhu. So first we would like to take up with Sindhu. You want to speak? Sindhu Manoj. Okay, Priyansi, you want to speak? Priyansi.
Sir, I put in the chat.
Okay. 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 Thank you. So let's start. So I want to make it clear right now. Today we will discuss only the basics. Actually, what happened? I'm, continuously organizing such kind of FDPs. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm organizing such kind of FDPs for last 3 years because everybody talks about advanced methods. Everybody talks about this tool I want to apply and how to apply this tool. So applying tool is not a big deal. Any test, any tool, application is not a big deal. But the basic concepts are missing among the researchers, which I have observed, and that's why I planned such kind of FDPs. That basics are lagging behind. We do not know why to apply this tool. We know how to apply this tool, but we do not know why to apply this tool. Sometimes it happens that my guide said that I must apply this tool, this test in my thesis. So I have to. Either my objective is saying something else, and but my guide has said, or I am, very good in this tool, or I want this tool or this tool in the fashion. So that's why I want to apply this tool. So my objective is something different. My hypothesis is something different, and I'm still in the search of that particular tool to apply in my thesis or my paper. So before going to the advanced, we must get it clear what is my objective, how to frame the objectives. So we will touch upon all the aspects. Today we will go with the basics, and tomorrow gradually we will do advanced. We will apply test, and we will see everything. We will try to touch to write PhD or thesis in statistical way. In some of you have objective to learn about qualitative analysis. So in this FDP, we are not going to touch upon qualitative analysis. and some of you have the objective how to write a good research paper. For that, we will organize some other FDP. So in this FDP, whatever is the schedule, we will go with that. We have 7 days, 6:30 to 8:30. So we will start at 6:30 sharp every day. We will not wait for others to join. So this means that you must join before the time or at least on the time. Okay, so let's start. I'm sharing my screen. I think it's visible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. So we are going to start national FDP. In fact, we have some international participants also. So national FDP program on advanced research methods and qualitative, not qualitative, quantitative data analysis using softwares. Softwares, wherever we require software like SPSS, AMOS, EV, we will use that particular software. And I would like to thank Professor Saurabh Agrawal for providing me the opportunity to conduct this FDP and under the aegis of Edge India Publication Private Limited. So this is the agenda for the complete week, and we will, cover all these topics. I think the font size is very small, so you may not be able to see, but I will break this agenda day wise. So today we are going to start on day 1, August 18, and we will discuss about basics of research, and this is the agenda for today. So first we will start with the meaning of statistics, because most of the researches use statistical tools. I'm not saying that every research uses statistical tool, but I'm saying most of the researches use statistical tool in the case of quantitative analysis. Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong? You must be interactive.
Yes,
You
sir.
must be- Okay, okay.
Yes, sir.
So can anybody tell me what is research? What is statistics? Anybody? And how it differs from mathematics? Anybody? Please try to be interactive. This is not going to one-way communication. One-way communication never gives you the fruitful results.
So actually statistics, if you ask me, it is nothing but we will be analyzing the data. We may collect it by any of the source.
Very
And
good.
coming to some conclusion using some tools, like scientific tools.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody want to add? Anybody? Okay. What is the difference between mathematics and statistics? We are not going with any book or any definition. We are just trying to understand so that we can understand research in a better way. Anybody? No? Okay, let me try. So statistics means selection of some sample, making some inferences about the population. I'm repeating, what we do in statistics, we collect certain sample from the population and we make inferences about the population. Am I right or wrong? Do we do the same thing in
Yes, sir.
mathematics?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Do we do same thing in mathematics?
No, sir.
No. So in statistics, what we do, we collect certain samples from a population, either primary data or secondary data. We analyze them. We infer the results and we think that this result represents the complete population from which we have collected the data. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now you can understand how important the sample selection process is. Can you imagine how important the sample selection process is? If we have selected sample in a right manner, then it can represent the complete population. If we have not collected the data from the correct sample, then it may give misleading results also. Got my point? What is statistics?
Yes.
Any
Yes,
doubt?
sir.
Any doubt?
No,
Any
sir.
confusion?
No, sir.
No?
No.
Now, next question is, what is constant? What is constant? Everybody is doing research. Yes, please.
So where the value remains same, which doesn't change, that's
Very good.
constant.
Very good. So why we are concerned about the constant? Your answer is correct, but why we are concerned about that constant? Why we are studying constant now? Yes, anybody?
Sir? Sir,
Yes.
actually, there are. Hello?
Yes, please. Yes, please speak.
Sir, actually, constant is
Hello.
something that remains. Hello?
Yes, please continue. Please continue.
Sir, is it to know the degree of change from the constant if we calculate the degree of change, how much something is changing? If we know what is the constant, then only we will know what is changing or how much something is changing.
But madam, constant does not change.
I
Yeah,
think
constant does not change.
it is not influenced by any variable, independent or dependent variable.
Yes. So why we are bothered about constant?
So even if the value of a variable is 0, there is something which is always there.
Okay. Okay. Can you give me some examples of constant?
For example, in economics, we have consumption function. So even if the income of a person 0, then also he is spending some amount on consumption, maybe by using the old money or savings or maybe borrowings. So there will be a minimum consumption always, irrespective of the level of income.
Okay. Thank you. Very good example. But I would like to make it simple. Okay, not in the statistical language, but in simple words. For example, sun rises in the east. Is this constant or variable?
Pardon, sir, couldn't get you.
Sun rises in the east. Sun rises in the east. Is it constant or variable?
I think it is constant because every day it happens.
Constant. So should we study this? Should we study this?
Yes, we should.
No. We should not study and we should not bother. When we know that this is constant, why should we study? So we never study a constant.
Okay.
Constant, whenever you run a test, the value of constant that is derived from certain data, that constant is different. But I'm talking about the thing which you know this is a constant. You should not study that. For another example, somebody was interested how to frame the questionnaire. Who was see how to frame questionnaire? Means questions in the questionnaire. Anybody was when I was asking about the You know, sometimes it happens that we are conducting a study in a girls' college. Okay, and we are collecting data from students, and we have framed one question: the gender, male, female. So is it necessary?
Not at all, because we have only one gender, that is girls.
And gender
Like,
is
yeah,
constant in this study.
yeah, it is
In this,
constant.
in this particular study, gender is constant in the particular study, not always. So we should not study the constant. Asha madam, you want to say something? Hello, you want to say something, Asha madam? No. Okay. So constant in, if something is constant in our study, we should not bother about it, and we should not study it. We should leave it behind. I think it's clear.
Yes, sir.
So there is no
Yes,
problem.
sir. Clear.
If we have a particular constant, we need not to worry about it, and we should not bother about it, and we should not actually include in our study. So Chauhan madam, you were discussing about the constant when we study the consumption pattern. So that is the output of certain test. So this will be the constant, and other will be the variable. So we are not talking about that constant. We are talking about the constant which we know in advance that this particular thing is constant. This will not be changing with the time or with something else. Okay.
Right.
Now we come to the next. What is variable? Can anybody tell me what is variable?
People have different values that keeps on changing.
Okay.
Sir, variables are the factors on which the objectives are made.
Variables are can you repeat, madam? Variables are
So variables are the factors on which the study is based on.
thank you, but I would like to tell you something. Factors are something different, and objectives tells us the variable. So not on the basis of variables we frame the objective, but on the basis of objectives we find out variables for the study. So this is vice versa. Variables tells us the objectives tells us the variable. Variables does not tells us the objective.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir, I want to ask one question.
Please ask.
Sir, just you said about constant. So we can we say like assumptions when we made the assumptions for a theory, those are the constants. For example, consumption is the function of income. So when we study the consumption function, the variable will be income because it is changing in our study. But when we are talking about other things which also affect the consumption patterns, so we say all other things remaining the same, that is the constant.
No. We will discuss this in in point number. I'm telling you what are the types of variable. We will discuss this, madam. I will address your question in this point.
Okay.
Point number 154, fifth point. I will. That is known as control variable. So I will discuss that.
Okay,
So that is
right,
a particular type of variable, not a constant. Okay.
right,
So yeah. So we were talking about variable. So what is variable? It varies, and we are not sure about the movements. Am I right? It varies. It will change, but we are not sure about the movement. How will it behave like that? That's why we are interested to study about the behavior of that variable. Are you getting my point? We are not worried about the constant. We are not going to study the constant. We are going to study the variable. And what is variable? Variable means the value of particular item varies based on certain circumstances, based on time or whatever is the reason, but it varies, and we are not sure how it will behave because future is uncertain, and we always study about future. Do we study about past? Do we study about past? Anybody? We do not study about past. We
No.
study about future based on the past.
Sir,
Am I right?
we study past also.
For example,
When we do the research for review of literature is related to the past.
why are we studying the past research?
Suppose, sir, let me take another example to clarify what I want to state. That suppose we are, comparing the data of trade of a country. So we compare from past years to present. What are the changes that has happened during the 1 decade? So the data we will study is related to past years.
Then why we are comparing it? What will we do
Just
after
to know
comparing?
the change, whether it is increased or decreased.
Then what will be the use of this study?
So we used to first of all we draw the inferences that if there is a need to improve our trade in some direction of a particular commodity, we'll implement some other efforts. We'll do policies will changes.
Definitely.
Policies will change.
Then again, future comes in the picture or policy implementation.
Implementation is related to the future only.
Yeah. So that's why I told you, we definitely study past, but on the basis of past, we try to predict the future. We try to, identify the movement of variable in future. I'm not saying that we do not study. We study past. Why? Because we want to predict in what will happen in future. So we study past. On the basis of past studies, we try to predict the future.
Future, yes, sir.
In your previous example also, whenever we do literature review to find out the gap. Whatever
Yes,
has
sir.
been covered and what has not yet been covered, so that I can cover that gap. Okay? To avoid the duplication of work. So our objective is always for future, but based on past. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Anybody else who want to say something? Okay, let me take some easy examples. For example, if we say the sales of a company depends on many things. Okay, so depends on many things. When I say many things, these all many things are variables. Sales in itself is a variable, but when I say that sales depends on many things, these all many things are also variable. There is no constant. Okay. Now, next question I was expecting, but nobody is asking. How to identify variable? Hello. How to identify variable?
Something that has a particular job to do.
Priyansi, my question was how to identify. How we will identify?
So the variable will always has the impact on the factor which we are
Dr. Raj,
studying.
Dr. Raj,
That is changing, keep changing.
Dr. Raj, this will be identified or known after conducting the study, after applying results, whether this variable has an impact on this particular variable or not.
Okay.
But this is variable because this also changes. We are sure that this is variable, but will it have any impact or not? This will be, ascertained after
Yes,
applying
concluded
certain
after the
tests.
research. Okay, sir.
Yes, yes. Jansi, my question was how to identify which is the variable. How can I understand which is the variable? Yes.
Something that is changing.
Something. Jansi, how will I identify that something related to my study? First, next question is related to my study. Everyone can participate. I'm trying to motivate you to participate. Everyone must participate. Everyone is equal. Yes, anybody.
Sir, on the basis of our objectives of the study, we can identify our variables, sir.
Madam, I would like to say that the variables are derived from objectives. So, in objective will give us the direction. These will be the variables. But before framing the objective, where we should go. So the question is how to identify the variables, how to include in our objective, how to frame the objectives. So I will discuss upon the framing of objective also. So for that purpose, we do the literature review. What are the proven variables related to my study? I'm talking to the variables of particular study. So for that purpose, we go and we do the review of literature. In the past, what are the variables which have been proven? So I will try to include those variables in my study. It doesn't mean that I cannot include any new variable, or it does not mean that I need to take all the variables of past studies in my study. I think I'm clear. Or any question? Any question? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, please.
Sir, just one little query. That suppose in review of literature, I found that a person has already done a research which contains 5 variables, right, sir? And if I exclude 2, 3 variables from that and again do a research on remaining 2 variables, will it be a new research? Considered as a new research?
Madam, there are certain, questions on that. If you have taken only 2 variables, you have dropped 3 variables. First of all, you must have a valid reason why have you dropped these 3 variables. Now, question arises: will it be a research or not? It
Yes, sir.
may be a research. It may be a research if this research is adding some value to the previous researches. For example, the research was conducted in some, European country, and you want to conduct that research with Indian context. So your results may be different in the Indian context. So this will be a research. Definitely, this will be a research. So in this way, you can say that this theory applies in particular country, but not in India, or it may not be applied in another country, but may be applied in India. So this will be adding certain value. If research is adding some value to the existing research, then it is a research and valuable research.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Now my next question arises: how many variables should I include in my study? Some paper has included 5 variables. Another research has included 8 variables. some research has included 2 variables related to my study. How many variables should I include? Next question, can I include all the variables? For example, sales is dependent on many variables. Can I include all the variables defined under the codes of many variables?
No, sir.
Yes, please. Hello. So how will you determine? Yes. Your
Sir,
voice-
maybe.
Yeah, please.
So maybe we can take the major factors that are affecting the sales and club other many factors under that one particular variable. Suppose sales is a variable, and we think there are 4 other variables that affect the sales, and in that 4 variables we can also club other variables which we think can be clubbed in one region.
You are saying that major variables should be separate and other variables must be clubbed in one.
Yes.
So I think we should take the significant variable. First, we need to identify which variables are significant. Is it so? And then we should consider them.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So I would like to answer both the queries. First one, sir, I don't know how to include some important variables separately and other variables in one variable. So that will be difficult for us. So we will try to include the variables which are considered to be significant in the previous studies. We will try, but that is not necessary to include all the variables, but we will try to accommodate all the variables which are proven significant in the previous studies, until unless we have any valid reason to drop that particular variable. So, sir, significance on the basis of past studies, but that is not guarantee that this variable will be significant in my study also. So we have to test and we have to report the results accordingly. That this variable is significant in another studies, but my results are different from the previous researches. So we can never include all the variables in our study because we do not know the number of variables which are affecting a particular dependent variable. Can we list out all the variables? We can never. I think we can never list all the variables because after making an exhaustive list also, we will find a number of variables which are affecting. So we must limit our study. We must be selective and we must select the variables based on past studies plus other variables which for which we have certain valid reasons that this should be included. If we do not include new variable, so sometimes it is asked in the question in the review of paper, what is the novelty in your paper? So we must always try to find out certain new variables which we must include, but we cannot say that all the variables have been included. Any question till now?
So is there any thumb rule that how many maximum variable we should take in our study?
No.
Or is it like more the better kind of thing?
No, madam, answer to both the question is no. There is no thumb rule about the number of variables, and there is no, rule that more the variables, the study will be good. Because if you include more and more variables, what will happen? Multicollinearity may arise, and your R may unnecessarily be increased. That will show that the results are spurious. So unnecessary, we should not increase the number of variables, number one, and there is no thumb rule to include or to limit the number of variables. This will depend on the objective and specific reason for inclusion of that particular, variable in our study. I hope it's clear. Hello. It's clear.
Yes, sir.
Any question? Any question? No. Okay. Thank you, Sindhu Manoj. Now, next is, now you got the point how important variable is, because we are studying only the variable. We are not studying any constant. So variable is very, very important to our study. We must focus on the variables, and the whatever I am discussing today is the foundation of research. The strong foundation will, have the strong building. If the foundation is weak, building may be weak. So you must try to emphasize to, rigorously design the foundation of your research. The rest of the work will be easy. Now we are coming about what are the types of variables. Can anybody tell me what are the types of variables?
Sir, age,
Types
income,
of variables.
revenue.
Yancy, types
Sir,
of variables.
5 are written on your screen. I think these are the 5.
Sorry?
Dependent, independent, control, mediating, moderating.
Very good, very good. This is smart work. So, types of variables, we have types of variables means we have 5 kinds of variables. One is dependent, another is independent, control variable, mediating, moderating. So we will discuss each one in detail, and I'm making it clear. Please ask every question which you have in your mind. Ask every question. So what is dependent variable?
Will maybe something that whose values is dependent on another variable.
Very good. The values of one variable is dependent on another variable. Yes. Dr. Raj, you are saying something?
Yes, sir. The same thing I want to add, that the variable which cannot change automatically, but changes only when some other factors change, then it is a, dependent variable.
Anybody else who want to say something or has any question in mind? No? No. Let's move to the next independent variable.
These are those variables where we are studying the impact of these variables on some other.
Very good. Very good. So,
for example, if we are studying the effect of, advertising expenditure on sales. So advertising expenditure is independent and sales is dependent.
Very good. Very good. My next question is there any variable which is really independent? Is there any variable which is really independent? Think and answer.
No, it depends on study to study.
Very good, very good. So there is no variable which is really independent, but we assume in our study that these variables will be independent and this variable will be dependent variable on these independent variables. Are you getting my point? For example, an example was given that sales is dependent on advertisement expenditure. So is advertisement expenditure independent? It is not dependent on certain other things. No. It is also dependent on certain other things, but we are taking advertisement expenditure in our study as independent variable. So we assume these variables are independent and this variable is dependent, and we are checking the impact of independent variable on dependent. So no variable is absolutely independent. Can you name or can you think about this? Any variable which is really independent, which is not dependent on anything? No? Less interactive person. Less interactive person. I want everyone to participate. You are here to learn. And I will also learn from your experiences. So please participate. Okay, so are we clear about dependent and independent variable? Are we clear?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now come to the next, that is control variable. Have you seen any villain in the movie?
Yes, sir.
So what is the role of villain? What is the role of villain?
To control.
To control. Villain creates disturbance. Priyansi, what are you thinking of? Villain creates disturbance.
Yes,
No?
sir.
So control variable is a villain in our study. This always creates the problems.
Right.
So suppose we are taking the example of Dr. Raj. You quoted one example. We want to study the what was the example? Consumption pattern. Dr. Raj. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Consumption pattern. So you are taking consumption pattern as dependent variable and income as independent variable. Am I right?
Right, sir.
But consumption pattern may differ or may change or may vary on the basis of other factors also. But if you are
Yes, sir.
checking or if you are trying to identify the impact of the income on consumption,
Income.
then other variables will be known as control variables. Other variables will be known as control
Controlled
variables.
variable.
One more,
Okay.
yes. One more example I would like to share with you. You must have seen certain advertisements on TV, like there are certain food supplements. Suppose your kid will consume this food supplement, the height will increase, the weight will increase, or whatever they are claiming. Horlicks, Bournvita, all these. Have you seen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So how will they check the effect of that food nutrient on the height, weight, or whatever they are claiming on particular child? How? Because if you are not giving food supplement, then also the height of the teenager or child will grow, increase because of age. As the age increases up to a certain level, height increases. It is on the basis of gender also. It is on the basis of nutrients you are taking in the food. It may be because of genetics. It may be because of physical exercises and many other things. But if you want to check the impact of food supplement on height, then all these variables are known as control variables.
Are controlled variables. Yeah.
So your gender, nutrients, genetics, physical exercise, etc. These will be your
Controlled variables.
And your variable of interest will be food supplement, that is independent variable, and dependent variable will be height.
Height.
Any question here? Any question? No question? Okay. So should I move to the next? Yes. Yes, please ask.
So, so control variable would be something which we are assuming to be constant in our study, or we are which we are ignoring it, right?
Madam, neither we are ignoring or nor we are assuming as constant, because that is not constant. That is also variable.
Yes, yes.
But that variable is not of my interest.
Okay.
I will, control the effect of those variables, and I will check the effect of my variable of interest only.
Okay.
For example, in my whatever I have discussed, the height of the teenager or child will increase because of many factors. If I am not giving food supplement to the child, then also height will increase, but I want some more height to be increased, then I am providing this food supplement. So I am interested the change in the height because of this food supplement only.
Okay.
So this is my variable of interest, and I will control the effect of age, gender, genetics, and other things as control variable. I will control the effect of these variables.
Okay.
Question?
Thank you.
Any question?
Sir, control variables would be usually in the form of independent nature.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So any question? Any question? No. Should I ask you a question? You are not asking questions. So should I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Are you to ask a question or I will ask?
Ask the question, sir.
I will ask question and I will answer the question. And what are you doing? Please, everybody, please take part. Don't take it lightly. Take part. If you are serious about research, please participate. So nobody asked how to control the effect of these variables. Nobody asked.
Sir, we cannot control it.
The answer then why we are studying.
These are static variables.
We cannot control. You are right, but in our study we need to control the effect of these variables. Then only I can infer about my variable of interest. Otherwise, how will you come to know that what is the impact of your variable of interest?
Yeah, it does impact our outcomes.
But how much? You have to quantify. No, you have to quantify the impact of the variable of interest. The impact of variable of interest. How? Anybody else? Please raise your questions. Please raise your concerns.
Sir, in terms of data, in terms of a number.
But how? Priyansi, how? Anybody? I'm repeating, ask questions, discuss. This is an open platform. No? Nobody? So should I move ahead? What is happening?
So can you just repeat the question? Yeah, please.
How to control the effect of control variables? How to control those variables?
Generally, we assume that.
Yes, one by one. Shamta Chauhan, please.
Generally, we assume that it is kept as constant,
No. That is not constant, madam. That is variable,
Yeah, that is variable.
not a constant. Age will increase. How can you control the age? So that is not constant. That is variable. But how to control the effect of those variables so that we can infer that this impact is because of the variable of interest?
By having a better representative sample where we have similar age group or maybe similar gender.
You are nearing the answer. You are nearing the answer. Very good. You are nearing the answer. Okay. Let me explain. We in this case everybody has studied this. In this case we frame two groups. One group is known as control group. Another group is known as experimental group.
Yes.
In the case of control group, we do not apply any food supplement, and in the experimental group, we provide them the food supplement. And height of the participants of both the groups will increase, but we will see what is the difference in the heights or average heights of both the groups. If the average height of the experimental group is significantly higher than the average height of the control group, then we can infer that this increase in the height is because of the food supplement. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So, sir, what I could understand from your example, please correct me if I'm wrong, that you have treated the other group, control group, as a constant, whereas you have concluded that the experimental group, which had showed some changes in the height, and you have concluded and based your outcome on that experimental group, and at the same time you have kept the control group in a constant state. Am I right?
Yancy, first of all, make it clear we never study the constant.
Okay, sir.
We never study constant. The control groups means we are not providing them any treatment. We are not providing them any kind of treatment. Experimental group, we are providing them certain treatment. And we are interested to know the effect of only that particular treatment. Okay.
What happened to the control group?
No, we are not providing them any treatment. We are not providing.
What are they doing in the part of our research?
Other variables are affecting them. Other variables are affecting them. Only my treatment is not affecting them. Yancy, height will increase because of many factors now. Age, food, whatever they are consuming, the nutrients they are taking in the food, the genetics. Am I right or not?
Right, sir, right. Yeah.
You have chosen the respondents from the same population. From the same population. They are same in all respect. They are same. But to control group, you are not providing the food supplement. But the experimental group, you are providing an additional thing, that is food supplement. For example, Horlicks you are providing. Okay, so height of both the groups will increase because height is increasing because of many factors. But you are interested to know what is the impact of Horlicks on the height of the teenager or child. So you will see the impact of only this Horlicks. So for example, the height of one child is 110 centimeter, and you have taken two child of the same age group, of the same height, and one of them you are giving the Horlicks, and another one you are not giving the Horlicks, and both are same in their habits and taking similar food, doing similar physical exercises, but only one difference is you are providing Horlicks to one child and you are not providing Horlicks to another child. If the height of the child to which you are providing the food supplement Horlicks increases, significantly in comparison to the another child to which you have not provided any, food supplement, the height of that child will also increase. But the difference in the height of both the child is because of food supplement or not. Are you getting me?
Yeah, I get it, sir. I get it.
So we never study the constant. We always study the variable, but some of the variables are of my interest and other variables are not of my interest. So I want to control them. They will affect my dependent variable, but I will control the effect of those variables and I will draw out the impact of other variables. Okay? Should we move ahead?
Yes, sir.
Now come to the next, mediating variable. So any idea about mediating and moderating variable?
No, sir.
No. Anybody else? Mediating or
So
moderating?
mediating variable is the mediator between the dependent and independent variable.
Very good. Can you give me an example?
So for example, let's take personality is an independent variable, and our financial satisfaction is dependent on our personality, and our financial behavior is playing a mediator between the personality and the satisfaction. So how we behave financially depends on the satisfaction, how we are financially satisfied. And what
Very
is our behavior is basically on the basis of our personality.
Very good. Very good. So what is basically the idea behind mediating variable? When one variable behaves like dependent as well as independent simultaneously in the study, then this variable is known as mediating variable. I'm repeating, when one variable behaves simultaneously as dependent and independent variable, then this variable is known as mediating variable. One example Simrat has given. I would like to quote some more examples. When we talk about quality of product, quality of service, it leads to satisfaction of customer. And if customer is satisfied, then he or she should repurchase the product or service or not. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sure.
So,
Yes, sir.
satisfaction here is playing the role of dependent as well as independent variable. So satisfaction is dependent on quality. If quality of product or service is good, then customer is satisfied. If customer is satisfied, then he or she is going to purchase it again. So when I say that repurchase intention, not purchase, the repurchase intention depends on satisfaction and satisfaction depends on quality, then satisfaction plays the role of dependent as well as independent variable. So it is known as mediating variable.
Correct, sir. Correct, sir.
So is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Basic objective is to understand the impact or effect of quality on repurchase intention by mediating effect of satisfaction. So this will be the objective in this case. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now come to the moderating variable. Tell me. Can anybody tell me?
Sir, moderating variables affects the strength
Madam,
and
your
the
voice is very weak. Can you speak again?
moderating variables affects the strength and direction of relationship between dependent and independent variables.
Okay. Very good. Anybody else who want to participate? Anybody else? Okay. So I must start with an example. For example, we want to take the previous example. For example, sales depends on advertisement expenditure. Okay, generally this will be our objective. Sales is dependent on the advertisement. Right or wrong? Right or wrong? Sales is dependent on advertisement expenditure. This may be the objective or not?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. But if we have divided for the purpose of sales, we have divided the geographical boundaries into 4 categories: North India, East India, West India, South India. Companies generally do like that. So will the effect of advertisement expenditure on sales be same in all regions?
No, sir. No, sir.
No. So when result of variable changes with some other variable, for example, if we are changing the region here, so this region will be known as moderating variable. This region will play the role of moderating variable. When we change the city, we change the region, the impact will be different. So if the results changes because of the introduction of the particular variable, then this is known as moderating variable. Please try to understand, we are not introducing this variable as independent variable. Okay, we are introducing this as moderating variable. Suppose we are changing the state, we are changing the region, we are changing the district, we are changing something else. Because of that, our result changes. Then this variable is known as moderating variable. Okay. So we move ahead.
Sir, can
Yes.
gender be the moderating variable?
Maybe. Maybe. It will depend upon the objective. Yes. Any question? Or should we go ahead?
Yes, go ahead.
We should go. Okay. Now, next question comes: what is respondent and what is data? Generally, when we write, we get in confusion. What is respondent and what is data? Tell me.
The respondents are basically the subjects on which whom we are carrying out the research.
Okay. And what is the data?
Data is their response that they are giving, that becomes our data.
Okay. So, respondent is a person or any unit of research from which we are collecting the data. Generally, in primary research, we talk about the respondent. And data is the information which we have collected from that respondent. Is it clear? The respondent is the unit, is the particular person from which we are collecting the information, and the information which we are collecting is known as data. I think it's clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we collect the data. We collect the data basically from 2 sources. One is known as primary source, and one is known as secondary source. What is this? Yes. Please tell me. You know, I know that you know what is primary data and what is secondary data.
So primary data is which we collect And the secondary data is like from the secondary sources, either through reports or any uh, journal, basically the databases like TOVES and all. So when it is already being collected and we are just taking that data, that is secondary data, and the primary is the one which we are collecting through questionnaires or interviews.
Very good, Simrat. Some additions are there. I will add. Priyansi.
I have a
Yes,
question.
sir. Primary.
Mr. Han, I am coming. Priyansi, please complete.
Yes, sir. So primary data is data that we as a researcher or a PhD scholar gather on our own from the respondents that is just explained. And the secondary data as that the data which is already collected by someone else earlier in the past. As the previous candidate stated, it can be a report, it can be a news article, blog from a credible source, which can be taken as a consideration in our secondary data.
Very good. Very good. Yes, madam.
Also, sometimes, I came to know about this. Like many of the people, they say that the data which is published by organizations like RBI is considered as primary data. So, is it right?
Sir, actually the data which we collect from the source of origin of that particular data, that is called primary data. Whether it is a website which is framing the data, for example the ma'am is asking about RBI, if they are generating the data, that is the primary source, right sir? Am I right, sir?
How it is primary?
So, for example, monetary policy is formulated by RBI. So, if we are taking SLR figure, okay, bank rate that we are taking into consideration, that will be treated as primary data, I think.
Right. Then the sales of the company is also primary data, as per your example.
Yes, it should be. I think it's suppose it is not used for the purpose of research by any other one.
No. So, there is a hairline difference only. Any data which is collected by somebody else or published, I'm making it clear, any data which is or which has been collected by somebody else or published data is known as secondary data. Suppose Dr. Raj, you have collected some data, okay, and you have
yes, sir.
You have uploaded on a website, and I'm using that data. That is secondary for me.
Right, sir.
So either it has been collected by somebody else. Somebody else doesn't mean that one professor is saying that to research scholars go and get the questionnaires filled so that data is collected. So that does not mean collected by somebody else. But if data has been collected by somebody else or it is published data, then both are secondary data. When as a researcher, I go to the respondent and I'm collecting the data first time, then this is known as primary data.
Yes,
So
sir,
either
right,
monetary policy of RBI or repo rate of RBI or any report published by RBI is secondary for me.
Okay.
Okay. So I think
Yes, sir.
all doubts are cleared, or any doubt? Simrat?
Sir.
Okay. Is it clear? So I have added some minor points in your example. So if we are collecting data first time, then it is primary. If somebody has already collected or it is published, then it is known as secondary data. Clear? So is it my choice to use primary or secondary data in my research? Can anybody tell me?
So pardon?
My choice. Is it my choice to use primary or secondary data? I want to
I
use.
think,
Yes, sir.
I want to use
sir, it's
primary data.
based on your
Is it my choice?
research.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
based on your research.
The study.
Demand of this.
The objective of the study, yeah, I mean, it is up to the researchers.
No, Priyansi, it is not up to the researcher. In first sentence, you were right. Objective of the study will tell me.
Yes. So depending upon the objective, the researcher can understand how to leverage primary and secondary data through literature review.
Once I frame my objectives, I do not have any kind of liberty. Before framing objectives, I have liberty. After finalizing my objectives, I do not have any kind of liberty with respect to the choice of data, with respect to the application of test, with respect of variables. I do not have any kind of liberty. Data collection is different, depends on just a minute. Somebody else. Data collection is depends upon the topic or title of an research. Very good, very good. Okay, so anything else to discuss among respondent?
I have one question, sir.
Please.
It is regarding the control variable.
Yeah, please.
Like in such kind of studies where we are not doing any experiment, we are not taking two different set of respondents. Then whether in those kind of study we also go with the concept of control variable.
How? How?
Now, for example, if a survey is conducted to understand the effectiveness of some new scheme launched by the company, and we are trying to understand the effectiveness. So in such kind of study, do we need to have these control variables? The concept is applicable there also.
For example, there is a festival. Okay.
Yes.
And we are studying. So demand may be because of festival also.
Yes.
And you will infer that this increase in the sales is because of the scheme.
Yes.
So are you really making correct inferences?
So how to control those variables in that kind of study
I told
without
you.
having two groups?
Okay. So you can compare the demand during that period in the last year. Okay. For example, at the time of festival, let's say Diwali, you are doing certain study. So you must see whether there was increase in the sales in last year also. So you will exclude that impact. The net impact will be because of your scheme this year.
Okay.
So you can do like that, but you must have control group. So last year sale will be your control group.
Okay.
Otherwise, how you will not be able to conclude the effect of your variable of interest.
Yeah.
So you must have one control group. One interesting story I want to tell you. Some of you must be aware about that. In a very renowned hospital in Delhi. So there are patients which are either paralyzed or in coma, or means they are not making any movement. So similar kind of treatment is given to all patients. Similar kind, when I am saying that similar kind, depending upon the condition of the patient. But some of them have exposure of Mahamrityunjay mantra. Are you aware about Mahamrityunjay?
Yeah.
Some of you must. Yeah. So the patients, this is a study. I'm not cooking the story. This is a study. So the patients which are exposed to Mahamrityunjay mantra, they have the faster recovery speed as compared to other patients which are not exposed to this Mahamrityunjay mantra. can you imagine the kind of study? So the patient which is not exposed to Mahamrityunjay month is our control group. And the patient to which we are giving Mahamrityunjay month, exposure of Mahamrityunjay month, that is the experimental group. So I think it's clear about control variable. Anything else to discuss? Madam Chauhan, is it clear?
Yeah, but there can be some other points also, maybe the severity of condition or age, or maybe
they have selected the patients of similar kind in both the groups. Not exactly similar, but almost similar kind. Almost similar kind. They have selected. So this is the study. Yeah. One question was control variable comes under scientific and behavioral research, right? Sir, in medicine also we have such kind of studies, control variables, and behavioral research also we have. We have in both the groups.
I think all studies comes either under scientific or social science, means behavioral.
Then we will discuss last point of today's, the types of research on. Okay, last point is types of research. Now we are coming to the next point, that is variable may be data, category, or construct. Some of you were using the word of construct or factor in starting, so we want to make it clear what is data, category, what is construct. So we can collect the data, and when we call about data, it means the actual data. You know, actual data. For example, I'm asking what is the age. When I'm asking about what is the age, what does it mean? The respondent, Priyansi, what have you shared? Yeah.
So the case study which you just told us about the patient of Mahamrityunjay Mantra.
Okay. So when we want to collect the data, we have many options. The way in which we can collect the data, we can collect the actual data, actual units, like what is the height, what is the age, what is the weight, what is the GDP, what is the sales, what is the income, what is the expenditure. When I am asking such kind of data, I am expecting the respondent to respond in the specific value, in the manner in which he or she can quote the specific value. For example, if I am asking what is the age, answer must be 15.5, 15 years, 16 years, 16.25 years, whatever. Okay. What is the weight? Must be 45 kg, 46 kg, 47 kg. So actual data I am collecting. Second way is to collect the data to make the category, because sometimes it becomes very difficult to ask the actual data. Am I right? So if I give the option to tick any of the correct answer, let's say I have made the groups for age 0 to 10 year, 10 to 20 year, 20 to 30 year, 30 to 40 year, 40 to 50 year. So the respondent will tick to the respective group. I have collected the data, but that is not actual data. So that is categorical data. Means category I have, I do not have actual data. In first case, I was having data. In second case, I have categories. Am I right? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. Am I right? Am I clear?
Yes.
So in first case, I am collecting data. In second case, I do not have data, but I have collected the data in the form of categories. So I have categories. I have categorical data. Sometimes it becomes difficult to collect data in categories also. For example, I ask a question, how honest you are, or let's say, are you honest? So will the respondent give me the correct answer? I'm asking, are you honest? So respondent will give me the right answer. Tell me.
Everyone will say yes.
Everyone will say,
Yes, I am honest.
okay.
But
Okay. Yeah.
few people will deny also, sir.
Maybe. But can you rely on such kind of data?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
Second one.
No.
When any organization collects the data from employees, are you interested to do this work? So will they provide the actual data?
No, sir. No,
No?
sir.
Okay. Now next. I asked a question. Are you motivated or not? So will I get the answer? Correct answer?
No, sir. No, sir.
No.
It will be a fabricated.
Yeah. If employer asks from the employees, are you dedicated to the job? Will
Most of the employees will say yes, sir.
but is it correct answer?
No, it is not the correct.
No.
Definitely.
So in these cases, what we do not collect data directly. We collect the data indirectly. We collect the data indirectly. Indirectly, we will ask them certain questions, and after that, we will decide whether the particular person is honest or not, whether the particular person is interested or not, motivated or not, dedicated or not. So directly, we cannot ask these questions. So we ask certain questions, and on the basis of responses on those certain questions, we decide whether the particular respondent is honest or not, dedicated or not, motivated or not. So when we collect data indirectly, then this is known as factor. This is known as construct. Either we call it construct or we call it factor. Okay. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any question? Any question?
No.
No, sir.
No, sir. No.
No? Okay. So now we came to the next topic, that is types of research. So basically we have exploratory research, we have descriptive research, we have experimental research, and we have historical research. So what is historical?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Experimental, exploratory, for example. First one is exploratory research. So what is exploratory research? Tell me. What is exploratory?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, please. Madam Suman, you want to say something?
Yeah, sir. So, exploratory research where the purpose is to merely explore questions or new things. The purpose is does not to give the final conclusion, but is to explore research.
Very good. Very good. When we conduct such kind of research, madam?
When to determine means the existing problems, or where you want to conduct the research in depth.
Very good. Very. Thank you. Thank you, madam. And keep on adding to the knowledge and ask the questions also.
Yes.
Anybody else who want to add something to the exploratory research?
Basically, sir, exploratory research, you have to explore, go beyond limitations.
Okay.
There are certain limitations. So, like scientists generally go to Antarctica or Arctic or in the very dense forest
Very good. And as a PhD scholar, what can we do in exploratory research?
So we have to explore on different parameters. Since we have very now Google and all, so we can on the thesis on or on the subject which we are getting research. So we have to go on adding up things, and research shall be more emphasized.
Very good. Anybody else?
So I have a question. So is exploratory research something which has not been studied in detail earlier and which we're going to study in depth? I mean, now is it something of that sort? Because
Very
something which is not studied in detail earlier.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Yes, Priyansi.
So this is like a extended path for future research for what has not been done before, and it can also help like scholars like us to understand at an early stage if the topic or title that we are going to invest our thesis in is worth pursuing or not in the first place. So this is good for us.
Priyansi, how will it be helpful for a researcher like you? Is it necessary you are going exploratory research only?
I mean, this will give me like an understanding of what areas I can explore at an early stage.
Okay, okay, very good. Anybody else who want to add something? Anybody else? Okay.
Sir, this is Vijay Shekhar here, sir. Sir, in the exploratory research, the basic objective is that instead of we are going to testing the hypothesis, the main concentration is to develop the hypothesis, sir. We are going to formulate the hypothesis instead of the testing.
Very good. Very good. Anybody else? Anybody else? So after this discussion, I'm summarizing the discussion. When there is no review of literature available, when I'm not able to find any previous study on the particular topic, then I will try to find something new. Then it is known as exploratory research. I'm exploring something new which has not been studied earlier. Let's say in 2020, all of a sudden there was a COVID breakout. So lots of studies were published on the COVID-19. So for those studies, there was no available review of literature. They found some new factors, some new variables related to COVID-19. Various studies were undertaken by the researchers, the behavior of the employees during the COVID-19, impact of COVID-19 on the health, impact of the COVID-19 on the employability, income, and so on, so on. So for those studies, there was no literature available in the published domain. So they have explored certain factors and they have published their paper. So such kind of study is known as exploratory study. When you are exploring something new, as discussed in the meeting now, that we are not applying any conclusive statistical tools. Although we are applying factor analysis, that is also a statistical tool. But we are not concluding something, but we are exploring something which has not been published till now. I think we are clear. Or any other discussion or question?
No, sir.
Okay, so let's move. Next one is descriptive research. What is descriptive research?
in which we describe the research problem, what is it and what solution we are getting.
Can you repeat, madam?
We describe the problem. Actually में वो है क्या?
Okay, okay. Very good. Anybody else? Anybody else?
So it describes the characteristic of some population under study.
Okay, very good. Anybody else?
I think it's
in descriptive research, we describe everything like what, when, where, why, who, and the researcher here, not like the exploratory, doesn't have prior information. Now, in descriptive, they have prior good amount of knowledge, literature is available for further studies.
Okay. Anybody else?
I think this is the description for what is the current status, what is going, what is the present status of something.
Okay, very good. Okay.
It is a fact-finding process, sir. We are going to answer the WH questions.
Okay, very good. Anybody else? Anybody else? Everyone can speak. Okay. So all of you rightly said, I'm just adding something. When sufficient literature is available, when models, theories are available, based on those models, theories, review, we do certain kind of survey, we collect the data if it is secondary. These kind of researches are known as descriptive research. And generally in management, economics, commerce, sociology, psychology, these kind of researches are conducted. Maximum. I'm not saying 100%. Maximum such kind of researches are conducted. Because if you will not include review of literature, then this is, a phenomena that research will not be accepted. Am I right or wrong? You have not done review of literature? Oh, no. You will be asked whether the model has been tested or not. From where have you taken the model? From where you have taken the questionnaire? So all these questions will be asked if you will not conduct such kind of research. That's why maximum researches are conducted as descriptive researches. But it is not necessary that you should always conduct descriptive research. Now, come to the third category, that is known as, okay, you want me to repeat? When you have sufficient amount of literature, you have models, you have theories. Based on that, you conduct your research by collecting data, then this is known as descriptive research. Am I clear?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Like, can we say that almost every research is a descriptive research?
No.
Because every research will carry a literature review.
No, if it carries, then descriptive. But every research carries review of literature, it is not necessary. When you are doing exploratory research, the precondition is that you do not have the literature available. What I said, that maximum researches are descriptive researches, but it does not mean that 100% researches or all the researches are descriptive. Am I clear, Sapna madam?
Okay. Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Priyansi?
Yeah, sir, I understood the descriptive part. I just wanted to make a small suggestion. So whenever you give any example, so that sums up everything about the definition that we are trying to explain. So I would just small request that if you can inculcate examples during the investigation more and more, that would really enhance the learning of the session. Just a small suggestion from my side.
You want more examples?
Yeah, I mean, whenever you are giving us the examples, it really helps us in understanding the concept better.
Okay, 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 okay. So
And I've understood the descriptive part. Just wanted to say.
So, exploratory, I have given the example of COVID researches, and for descriptive, you can take the example of any research which is based on the previous studies and models and questionnaires, and all these things are given. So we are extracting variables from the previous researches, and we are using those variables in our study. So we are exploring. Sorry, we are not exploring. We are describing those things with reference to the data set which we have collected, and that is different from the previous researches. The only difference is that the data set is different. Suppose somebody has collected the data from North India, you are collecting the data from South India, so results may be different. Other things are same, but only the respondents and the nature of respondent and the origin of respondents is different with respect to their region, with respect to their age, with respect to their income or whatever. Okay. Now come to the experimental research. What is experimental research? Can anybody tell me?
Which involves some
that it suggests that when we are doing we are finding concluding based on some experiment.
Very good, very good. Yes. Next, Sapna madam.
Sir, experimental research can be equal to empirical research.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? No. Okay. Let me start with where we use this experimental researches in actual sense, in engineering, in medicine, in agriculture. We use experimental researches in real sense. For example, when this vaccine of coronavirus was developed, what happens? The companies tested these vaccines on patients, first trial, second trial, and third trial. They made the experiments. After that, they conclude that the efficacy of this vaccine is 70%, the efficacy of this vaccine is 50%, efficacy of this vaccine is 60%. So they have actually conducted the experiments. In engineering also, sometimes you have seen that misfunctioning of robots, and that has harmed the person handling that robot during the experiment. So in engineering also, the person who is writing software, I think Vyansi.
Yes, sir.
You can throw some light whenever you are writing some coding.
Right.
Is it always working in the first end?
No, sir. It happens after a lot of times of experimentation.
Yeah. So in that case, you are actually doing certain experiments. Sometimes you have heard the news that particular guy has found some bug in Google, in Microsoft, and in particular renowned software or app, and company has rewarded him or her with crores of rupees.
Yes, sir. They were able to find bugs in the existing software.
So these are basically experiments. In agriculture, you have various kind of genes. Compare the time 20 years ago and right now. You will find, new varieties of certain fruits and vegetables. How they come out? How? Because of certain experiments. So in experimental research, I'm coming back to my control variables. In experimental research, we always have at least two groups. Two groups or
Yes, sir.
minimum 2 times of data we have to collect before and after.
Yeah, sir, the previous example you quoted about Horlicks,
Yeah.
the study, the impact of Horlicks on height, that was also an experimental research, I think.
Yes, that is experiment.
Yeah. And sir, in education, suppose now no, we do the research on after attending this FDP, what will be the level of our level of our research paper, and that will be, I think, it will called experimental.
If I collect actual data from the respondents, from the participant,
Mhm.
that is the experiment.
Right.
Before and after.
Right, sir.
So before and after,
Okay.
or from control group and from experimental group. If we collect data from
Yes, sir.
such kind of groups, then this is known as experimental research. Laboratory experiment versus field experiment. Are you asking me a question or providing the inputs? Hello? Manu.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Manu has written asking question. Okay, experimental research may be laboratory experiment or maybe field experiment. When I'm saying that agriculture, in agriculture, you can't do everything in the laboratory. You have to go to the fields. You have to, plow the field. You have to sow the seeds. Then you have to wait for the growing the crop. Then only you will see the impact of particular experiment. So it may be laboratory, it may be field experiment. Am I clear? Okay. Now, so we have understood exploratory, descriptive, experimental. Last one is historical. Yes, Priyansi?
Sir, the last statement which you made, so you meant that laboratory experiment and field experiment are both same, right?
No, not same. Both are experimental. Not same.
Both are experiments, right? Both are experiments, but different type of experiment.
Yes.
One is done in lab, one is done in field.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Now we come to the next, that is historical. Can you tell me what is historical?
So based on the past data.
Based on the past.
Yeah.
Can-
Accommodating future research.
Can we say that this review of literature is historical research?
Yes, sir, definitely.
Okay.
No, sir.
Okay. Then what?
Sir, historical research means when the event has already happened in past,
Okay.
and now we want to draw some conclusions about that incident.
Okay. Can you quote an example?
Yes, sir. Example, suppose COVID patients, like COVID deaths, or the impact of COVID
Then
on the
again,
economy.
then again collection of past data. For example, we are collecting the data of sales of a company for last 10 years. In the same way, we will be collecting the data of COVID casualties for last 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, 1 year, depending upon the time of collection from the hospitals or from the government.
Then, sir, you please explain.
Anybody else? Want to throw some light? Anybody else?
Sir, literature reviews can be a part of this. I mean, I'm confused.
Nancy, can you speak loud?
Yes, sir. I'm asking, would literature review can be considered as a part of a historical research? I mean, I'm confused.
No, Priyansi, then descriptive research includes historical research. It's like that.
Right. Literature review.
Then descriptive research improve the historical research? If we say like that, no. What happens? Have you heard about archaeological survey, archaeological departments?
Yes.
What they do?
They conduct research on the present conditions.
No. Anybody can throw some light? Archaeological researches, archaeological survey.
Study on sculptures or something like that.
Yeah, it's excavating or
They collect, yeah.
can study on that, constructing the past according to what was found then.
Yeah. They collect the information from the real sites which are quoted in history.
Okay. Anita, madam, you want to say something? Anita, madam, you want to say something?
Yes, sir. I just said it is archaeological research is something to do with artifacts collected, are excavated, and building a story around it from the past.
Okay. Have you heard about carbon dating?
Through various evidence.
Yeah. Have you heard about carbon dating? Carbon dating.
Yes.
What is that?
So that actually tells the age of that artifact. It's a method to know the age of the artifact, whatever has been excavated, the object.
So, in real sense, the archaeological researches are historical researches. Otherwise, whatever we call, that is, your choice. But in real sense, archaeological researches are historical researches. They tell us what is the age of this particular, you can say stone or anything else, and carbon dating, etc. So these are researches which are known as. Yes, please, Abhishek, sir.
Hello, sir. Suppose we are going to do some research on second order or first order. Can we say that those are the historical research?
Oh, what will you study in First World War and Second World War?
Suppose in Second World War, what are the things they are using? What type of weapons they are using, and what are their psychological on
From
that?
From where will you collect the data?
So means from different sources, either going to that present case means that present that field, going to that field or that particular spot or different kinds of literature.
Definitely it will be a historical. If you are collecting the data from published researches, then this will not be historical research. But if you are going to the real site, you are digging, and you are finding something, and then this will be historical.
Okay, so anything it has to do with literature review or published data won't be considered as a part of a historical research, right, sir?
This is a review of literature what has already been published. Okay. So let's move ahead. I have something more for today. Now come to data. I'm coming to the data. So when we collect the data, what kind of data? We have already discussed data, maybe actual data, maybe categorical, maybe factors. But another aspect of data is also, one is cross-sectional data, one is time series data, another one is panel data. Can you tell me what is cross-sectional, what is time series, what is panel? Anybody? Okay. Cross-sectional data.
Yes, like where we collect, it's collection of information from population only once when the information is collected.
Okay, very good. Very good. Yes. Dr. Raj,
Yes, sir. Cross-sectional data means the time period is same, but we are collecting the data from different segments or sectors.
Very good.
And in time series, it is the reverse. We change the time periods For example, in different years, we select the data of a particular sector only.
Okay. So somebody has written before and after. So before and after are two separate data. So we are talking about single data. When we are collecting the data, and in the data, time point is only one. Time point is only one. The best example of cross-sectional data is census. Census has a particular year. For example, last time the census was conducted in 2011. Am I right? After that, because of COVID, government has not conducted census, and the process is going on, but still the data has not been completed or collected completely. So best example for cross-sectional is, census. Time point is one, and cross sections are more than one. So every household is a cross section, and time point is one. So whenever we call census data as per census 2011, so time point is only one, 2011, and cross sections are more than one. So this is known as cross sectional data. Am I clear? So if you are making questionnaire, you are getting them filled with more than one respondents, then this is known as cross sectional data. Clear? Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Now,
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, please. Any question?
Sir, please give some more examples, sir.
Can you speak a little louder?
Sir, please give some more example on cross section.
You need more example of cross section.
Yes.
Okay. So, for example, if you are conducting a door-to-door survey on a particular product, you are collecting feedback. This is cross-sectional because every house will be your cross-section. If you have collected the data of 10 companies for a particular year, if you have collected the data of 10 I am taking here more than one. I'm taking my example as 10. If you are collecting the data of 10 companies for a particular year, means for a single particular year, then this will be known as cross-sectional data. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now come to the time series data. You need more examples on cross-sectional data?
Sir, it's all right.
Okay. Now come to the time series. You reverse here. Here, the cross-section is only one and time period is more than one. For example, if you are collecting the data of one company for past 10 years, then it will become a time series data. If you are, analyzing the consumption pattern of one person over a period, then this will become cross-section data. Sorry, time series data. I'm repeating. If you are studying the consumption pattern of a particular person over a time period, then this will become the time series data. You are studying the profit and loss of a particular company for a period, maybe 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, then this will become the data of time series. Is it clear? Any doubt? I think one question.
No, sir. No, sir.
When we collect data from multiple groups of respondents is a cross-sectional research within a time. Yes. Yes. Now come to the panel data. When we combine time series and cross-section, then this will become panel data. For example, I'm collecting the data of 10 companies for 10 years. So your cross-section is more than one and time period is also more than one. Then it will become the panel data. So which data I need, this will depend upon my objective. Hello? Am I clear?
Yes, sir, got it.
Yes, sir.
Any doubt?
No, sir.
These examples here also. Now, so data analysis. If you allow me for 5-10 more minutes, I have some topics also to discuss today. Otherwise, we can discuss tomorrow. So, want to continue for more 5-10 more minutes?
Can we discuss it tomorrow, sir?
Yeah, definitely we can. So, if you want me to stop here, I can stop here. We can do it tomorrow. So, any question, any doubt? Anybody who want to discuss? Those who do not have any doubt, they can leave. Those who have doubt, they can stay back. And thank you for joining this FDP. We will start at 6:30 sharp every day. Anybody who has any kind of doubt, they can stay back. Those who do not have any doubt, they can leave.
Okay, thank you, sir. It was a very informative session. Thank you so much
Thank you, sir.
for today.
Can you
Thank you,
share
Dr.
this PPT?
I think we will meet tomorrow.
I will share all the content that I'm discussing here. I will share.
Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome, most welcome. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an informative session.
Yes, Mr. Vijay Shekhar, we will send you a feedback form at the end of the FDP, not today, not every day.
Sir, can we get this PPT that you were sharing right now so that I can go in detail?
You will definitely get. You will definitely will get after completion of FDP. I will share all the content with you.
And Saurabh sir, is there any exam? Sorry.
Yes,
there
there will
any-
be one. Yeah, there will be one quiz, short quiz at the end of the FDP.
That will
One
be at
quiz
the
and
end?
one feedback sheet.
Pardon?
One small quiz, a multiple choice quiz, and one feedback form.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think now it's over. And you have been, research is very difficult, but for 2 hours you have been speaking on this topic. So thank you. And we see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.